Paranormal Stories Part 2. Going to share with you the time I was guided to go in the wrong direction by humans that were actually crossed over souls. In 2022, I was still making steel sculptures and I would take them to lakes and waterfalls and take photographs of them with nice scenery in the background. And I decided to go to this lake that was about 45 minutes to an hour away from my place. When I got there, I really had no idea where I was going. I was looking for this waterfall, so I parked my car, got my bag, and I started walking. And it was only like a couple minutes where I found myself at a fork in the road, and there was no obvious sign saying, which way to the waterfall. It was either left or right. And as I was standing there trying to make my decision, the next thing I knew, this couple walked up and they looked like they were in their 30s. And the first thing that I noticed was that their fashion seemed to be extremely out of date. And I was like, excuse me. And they stopped and like, do you know which way to go to the lower falls? And they both said, yeah. And they turned and they pointed to the left. And they were so confident that I didn't, question what they were saying. But I was left with this extremely weird feeling that there was something off about these individuals. And so they point me in the wrong way. And this led me to a lake completely opposite of where the waterfall was. And this would lead to me meeting an individual that I'd end up hanging out with for almost every day for 3 months. And while we were hanging out, little did I know, she was sending me black magic that was being returned and, basically caused her dog to die of cancer. She tried to get me into a car accident. She got into a car accident. And then one night, towards the end of this connection, we were at home at her place and she asked me if I wanted a cacao drink. So I was like, yeah, okay. So she goes into the kitchen, comes back, and she gives it to me. And she's not even drinking one. She just gives it to me and she's watching me intently as I drank it. And what I didn't know is that she slipped a lethal dose of arsenic in it. The next thing I know, my crown chakra just starts buzzing like crazy, and I feel this angelic energy just come in. I didn't know what the fuck was going on at the time. In my mind, things were going so well. And I just introduced her to my son 3 days ago. There was no way in my mind that she was putting poison in my drink, but what I realized was that Archangel Michael was neutralizing the poison that she gave me. And eventually I would have an Akashic Records reading where I said to her, I'm like, look, what was up with those people that told me to go the wrong way, because there was something extremely off about them. And she told me that this was actually a couple that was murdered in the 70s, and that's why their attire seemed to be so out of date. And I'd later find out that they were actually buried by the waterfall. So just another paranormal weird story from my list of paranormal weird stories. Stay tuned for part 3.